Hey, we'll be talking about endorphins and the opioid receptor's effect on our health. So, symptoms that you can check off and self assess, and ways to improve this, looking at opioid disruptors and different compounds that you can use. Let's do a quick rundown on the whole opioid system, just to help you refresh your memory or to help you understand it better. Endorphins and enkephalins are considered to be endogenous neurotransmitters, so that means they're synthesized in your body. They activate the opioid receptors, and we have mu opioid, delta opioid, and kappa opioid receptors. A quick note is that endorphins is generally longer acting and it has more broad action, whereas enkephalins is more targeted and is shorter acting. And of course, we have these drugs that are opioid agonists, like morphine, whereas naloxone is an opioid antagonist, which is used to reverse opioid-induced respiratory depression. Physical fatigue and low endurance are probably going to be the most prominent symptoms. Low pain threshold, low pain tolerance, especially if there's achiness, joint pains. ADD and anhedonia is mostly thought to be dopamine related, but my research and experience says it's just as equally related to low endorphins. The amphetamine-based ADD stimulants, they also release endorphins, whereas say other dopamine agonists like rasagiline, amantadine, Wellbutrin, they don't always get the job done in this field. General malaise and post-exertional malaise, you generally don't feel good in your body. You feel nauseous, tired, maybe achy, and have a form of exercise intolerance. When someone with a functional opioid receptor takes opioid painkillers, they'll likely feel drowsy, nauseous, maybe even dysphoric. Now, someone who's got a dysfunctional opioid system, then that's a different story, and this is where you have a higher chance of having, let's say, opioid use disorder. If you have more than 8 symptoms listed here, that's a pretty good indicator that you may be struggling with systemic low endorphins. It took me a long time to come up with this list, including from personal experiences. Not fun. The ones you can just pull up from Google are overly generalized, and those symptoms, may I say, they're inaccurate. See if you might be self-medicating yourself with these foods. Yeah, some of them can mimic endorphins, morphine, and temporarily make you feel good, but it'll have the swinging pendulum effect and make you feel worse afterwards. If you just avoided these foods, then you're probably not going to need any supplements or medications to increase endorphins. If you insist on trying supplements or medications, then do talk to your doctor first. If you're not deficient in vitamin C, D, and magnesium, then you'll probably find that supplements alone will have diminishing returns. The phenylalanine can slow down the breakdown of enkephalins, and butyrate can increase the number of mu opioid receptors. Pregnant alone, I don't recommend doing this as a starter. Again, talk to your doctor. Cayenne pepper only lasts like an hour or two. Low dose naltrexone is a good one to ask your doctor about. It is getting easier to get prescribed for. You do want to start at a very low dose, like maybe half a milligram or 1 milligram is not bad. And you do have to take it consistently, like every day or every second day for it to take effect. Microdosing buprenorphine is quite effective, and you can just take it periodically when you want to. The only downside to this is that you can easily overdose on it. So people with opioid addiction, they're taking 24 milligrams to sometimes 32 milligrams. Now with microdosing, you're taking around 25 micrograms, not milligrams. And that's very hard to do. If you take too much, you just get sometimes overstimulated, but most likely nauseous. Kratom, Kratom, I've heard both negative and positive reviews on it. Personally, I felt irritable and angry on it. It's, I'd say definitely try to explore other routes first. Do take a note of the negative effects of opioids. Nausea most certainly means you've taken a little too much. If your breathing slows down a lot, then you've most certainly taken way too much. Irritability and rage is quite common, constipation as well. activating the opioid receptor can have some mild antipsychosis effects, but it can cause mania and hallucination as well. Low sex drive, that's common. It can increase sex drive too. It can cause itchiness by increasing histamine.